Hey everyone, welcome to the video. I'm your boy Lawrence, and today I'm going to show you the 2021 KIA Sportage SX Turbo. The KIA Sportage has been around since 1993. It's one of Kia's longest running models. This generation, the 2021, has actually been around since 2015 as a 2016 model. And man, did they do a good job of the design. Just look at the headlights, the LED headlights, the LED fog lights. You know this is a Sportage when you're coming down the road and you see it. Absolutely beautiful. As we come around the side, the SX Turbo model in particular gets these 18-inch alloy rims. And man, they don't even look factory, they look aftermarket. They're just absolutely beautiful. I think they did a wonderful job of that. And I want to talk about the all-wheel drive system in the Sportage as well. The Sportage was the first model that Kia actually used a Canadian company to build their all-wheel drive components called Magna International. And they are world-renowned and the #1 rated all-wheel drive company in the world. They make all-wheel drive components for the BMWs, Audis, and all that. And you have that in a Kia, which is incredible. So to talk about Kia's passive entry system is actually really cool. As long as you have this key within about 36 inches of the vehicle, you can get in, lock, unlock, start, and turn the vehicle off without ever having to pull this out of your pocket or your purse. I'll show you how it works. As long as you're close, the vehicle's open right now. Press this button right here, which is on the driver door or the passenger door. It's locked up. Can't even open it. Now you press it once. Now let's get in. And now we'll get in and talk a little bit inside. So now that we're inside, I'm going to start with the steering wheel and just talk about a few of the features that are here. First off, the design. I absolutely love the flat bottom on the SX Turbo, much sportier design. And just the attention to detail with all the different materials, Kia just knocked it right out of the park. Now to talk about some of the features, all your audio controls are over here on the left side of the steering wheel. You have your volume controls, you can change the channel if you're on Sirius satellite radio, FM, AM, and things like that. You can also change the different modes between all of those if you have Bluetooth audio as well. You can answer and hang up your calls when you're connected via Bluetooth. And of course, in 2021, what's Apple Carplay and Android Auto if it's not in one of these vehicles? You can even use Siri through here by pressing and holding this voice button on the left side of the steering wheel. Now let's move over to the right side of the steering wheel. This is where your vehicle controls would be. So there's a page button right here on the steering wheel where you can toggle between different modes with the vehicle to see whether it's how fast you're driving, your lane departure detection, your fuel economy, and things like that as well. This Kia Sportage also has the adaptive cruise control, which is a very cool feature. You can set your gap distance behind a vehicle in front of you that you're following. It works best on the highway, of course, where you can set near, medium, far, and a little bit further. And you set your speed limits. So you can set it, for example, up to, say, 120 kilometers an hour. And you're following a vehicle in front of you that is only going 100. The Sportage will stay at 100. If that vehicle in front of you speeds up, so will you. And if it slows down, you'll slow all the way down. And this is actually capable of slowing all the way down to a complete stop and then continuing on. Very cool feature. So behind the steering wheel, on the right and the left, are paddle shifters connected to a 7-speed dual clutch transmission, and it is super smooth. You can gear up and you can gear down for more sporty driving, but in a real world application is, say you want to go down a steep hill and not ride your brakes, you can gear down and it'll use the transmission to slow you down. Much better for the vehicle in the long run. So now let's talk about some of the features in the center stack here on the dash. Of course, you have a gorgeous 8-inch display. We'll get into the infotainment features a little bit later. But for now, let's talk about the hard buttons. First off, this is push button start, like I had mentioned outside. With the passive entry system, all you have to do is put your foot on the brake pedal, press the button, it turns the car on and turns it off. Very cool. Right here, Kia is super smart with the layout of their buttons. All your controls for your infotainment are right here in the center of the stack. Makes it super easy to figure out. There's your hazard light button as well. We have everything from your radio, different media, whether it's Bluetooth audio or you plug it in with the USB audio, Sirius satellite radio, FM and AM radio as well. As we come over here to this side of the center stack on the buttons, this is all for your navigation. And when you have an SD card, which is like a little memory card, and it plugs in right there, which comes with the vehicle, it's got all your map data on it, which you can update every couple of years as you see fit. Now, as we come down the center stack, these are all the buttons for your climate control, and you have dual zone climate control, which means if I want to be a little bit warmer than a passenger, I can adjust this and be a little bit warmer. And then if they want to be a little bit cooler or vice versa, they can adjust here. And it's actually visible up here on the screen, so you can see passengers 23.5 degrees. My driver, I'm a little bit warmer because I'm cold today. And then if you want to sync it, because you're just the only one in the vehicle, you press this button right here, sync. Now it's the same temperature across the board. Now down here, these are some of my favorite buttons. You have heated and ventilated front driver and passenger seats, and they light up different colors. If you have ventilated seats, it actually lights up blue, and it goes high, medium, low, and off. And now if you want to have your seats heated, you press that and it's orange, high, medium, low, and off again. My favorite feature in the vehicle is the heated steering wheel, which is dead center, nice and symmetrical. And the whole thing is heated. Not automakers make the entire steering wheel heated, which is a very important thing in my eyes. Now, as we continue down below, you'll see right here is a USB plug-in, which when you have your phone plugged in, it'll charge it as well as take data or information from it. So you have two 12-volt charging ports right here as well, so you can plug in more phones or everything like that to charge them, even if you want to plug in a dash cam, which a lot of people are doing nowadays as well, right here. However, 2021, we now have a wireless charging station right here for your cell phone. So you just put the phone right here and it'll light up different colors depending on if you have an obstruction in the way, if it overheats. Once it's charged, it lights up green, and as it's charging, it's orange. Let's continue on back here. The shifters with this connected to the 7-speed dual clutch transmission, super smooth, very simple. But to get into the manual mode, which I mentioned earlier, you actually just move the shifter over to the left, and you can do that while you're driving at any speed, which is very cool. Once you want to go back into full auto mode, you just push the shifter back over into drive, and now you're in full automatic mode. Now down here, these are all for the driver. So the first one we're going to talk about are the drive modes. When you push it, you have 3 different modes between normal, eco, and sport, and they all do things a little bit differently, which are very cool. When you're in eco mode, essentially they'll detune the engine just slightly so you can save up to 10% more in fuel economy. It also makes the all-wheel drive system more front-wheel drive biased. Same within normal mode as well, but normal doesn't detune the engine slightly as much as eco. When you put it into sport mode, it actually changes the gauges up here, the little screen, to a little bit reddish orange, which is cool. It increases your shift points, so you have a higher shift point, better acceleration, as well as it actually evens out the all-wheel drive system a little bit more as well. If you want to lock your all-wheel drive system into an even 50-50 distribution, there's actually a 4-wheel drive lock button right here. So that helps you in slippery conditions if you're driving through snow and ice, gravel, sand, mud, anything like that, and you need traction on all 4 wheels a little bit more evenly. You actually have a button on the fly which you can press right there. Super, super convenient. This button here is your hill descent control, or brake control per se, as it says right here. When that is on, it's like an off-road cruise control. It kind of just slows you down a little bit as you're going slow. It only works at like lower speeds as well. One really nice feature is your electric parking brake. That is super convenient because if you drive off, the vehicle will beep at you, but it won't have the parking brake just on, like ruining your brakes if you forget to turn it off when you drive away. And to activate it, you actually just put your foot on the brake pedal and you pull it up as if you were pulling up an electric parking brake. Now, it even says right here, it's on, and if you want to turn it off, you put your foot back on the brake pedal, push it down, as if you're putting an original one down, and now it's off. Pretty convenient. Now let's talk about this button right here. This is for your parking sensors. That is super convenient that you can turn them on and off. If you are driving in any conditions that like snow or mud or anything, you'll get mud or snow that flies up on the back of the bumper, which can cause the sensors to be covered. So if you put the vehicle in reverse, it'll just be beeping at you non-stop, which is really frustrating. So now we have the auto hold button. That is pretty neat. When it is engaged, the auto hold, when you come to a stoplight or a stop sign, you can take your foot off the brake pedal, but the brakes are still engaged, meaning you won't roll backwards or forwards, so you can just sit there a little bit more relaxed, which is pretty convenient, even on an incline. So now let's talk about this amazing panoramic sunroof. You'll notice that more than 50% of it is the front piece, and that opens up. So you have more than 50% of the roof here that'll actually open up. That makes it amazing. And if you're riding in the back seat, that's when you get to really experience it. And it's super easy to use. It's just one touch, you pull it, and you just let it do its thing. There is also a little wind deflector right here, which helps prevent your hair from blowing around. All right, everyone, thank you again for tuning into this week's video where I talked about the 2021 KIA Sportage SX Turbo. Once again, I'm your boy Lawrence. We'll see you again next week when I do a walk around on something else. Until then, see ya.